What's up, guys? Do you just like movies? Do you like to watch them? Do you like to write your own? Well, today I'm going to be bringing you my top 10. All right, start it off. Number 10. Number 10. Fast and the Furious. So there's just something about that, like, Fast and the Furious car action that just, like, it stuck with me for a long time. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just the feeling of watching that in the theaters, just every time the new one comes out, it's something that really just brings me back to my childhood. Just watching the race between that orange and that green car, just it's fantastic. Like they're kind of getting old now. That's why I like the number one, and because Paul Walker is just he was just such a great actor, and just it was kind of sad that he got taken away, but at least he left a mark with the movies that he was in, and that's why I think Fast and Furious is number 10 on my list. It's just Paul Walker jumping into the franchise and the entire franchise just taking off. All right, so number 9. I'm gonna have to put it. It was a tough choice, but honestly, I think it's Transformers. Just watching Transformers for the first time felt like I was in a whole new world. Just seeing Optimus Prime and Megatron battle it out, and in New York City, and just it's just like you never expected to see it, and to finally see it like in theaters with the loud chairs, everybody around you just watching in awe as the robots just come to life, and slowly sometimes they slowly transform, sometimes they don't. Like it's just you never expect it, and I couldn't imagine to be in that world. Like imagine just sitting there and all of a sudden a fucking transformer just pops up out of nowhere and you're just that's it. Let's pack it up. Everybody let's get a move on. Like it's crazy. It's just crazy in that movie. But I think that filling in at number 9, there's just so many better movies to me and coming up. So you'll see why. Even though Optimus Prime is so dear, he's one of my favorite ever in a movie, and so is Megatron. But we'll get to that later. All right, so number 8 is Annabelle Creation. So I'm really into horror. I love that genre, and just the most recent horror hasn't been that great, but I think Annabelle Creation really stuck it just as a true horror for me. Because I was watching it with my friends and just I don't know, it was just something that we could all just sit back and just take in the sheer like spook of the entire movie. And like the one scene that really stuck out to me was when the main girl was getting pushed by the nun into the barn, and she just has no idea because she can't see the face; it's just blurred out by the sun, and she just gets forced in, and it's just your heart's in your throat at that point, just watching, and or even the scene when she's going up and down the stairs with her chair that she set up because she broke her leg from the same entity demon thing that's possessing her, and she tries to go up or she tries to go down, and it flips the switch. She goes right up into darkness, and it's just the fear of the unknown at that point, and that's why it's just so crazy because I couldn't ever imagine being in that situation. I wouldn't know what to do. So that's why it's at number 8. All right, number 7 is Annihilation. This is a fairly recent movie to come out, and it's just I classify it as a thriller. It wouldn't really be a horror. Just the music in that movie is just so it's just like it makes you have an uneasy feeling at all times. You just don't know what's happening to the characters, and it's just you just sit there, and all of a sudden a violin goes off in the music, and you have no idea whether or not something's gonna happen, and it makes you on edge at all times. Like one of my favorite scenes from that movie is when she's going against the being or whatever at the in the tree, and it just gets up and all the colors on the wall are like morphing, and they just morph into this one thing that reflects her and her movements perfectly, and she just can't get out because it's just moving with her, and just it's scary. It's really scary, and but then like the bear as well, the alligator bear animals, you don't want to mess with those things. All right, guys. Number 6 is Iron Man, the very first Marvel to come out, or Marvel movie to come out in the MCU, and it stuck near and dear to me. Tony Stark's my favorite character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Iron Man's my favorite superhero, just because of that one movie that came out so long ago. I saw it as a kid, and ever since then, I've just loved Iron Man and Tony Stark, and Robert Downey Jr. does he portrays him perfectly. I couldn't see anybody else doing it, but I guess we're gonna have to see with the coming up of his contract ending at the end of Infinity War Part or Avengers Part 4. So we're gonna have to see. All right, number 5, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Yeah, I know. The newest movie, the newest Star Wars, whatever. I love it. It's the modern day for my generation of the Star Wars movies. That doesn't include the prequels. It's just Kylo Ren and his new lightsaber and trying to follow Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader and a cat. And it's crazy to see. Like, it starts off with Finn being the Jedi and everybody thinking that, and then at the end of the movie it just flips a switch and it makes it so Rey is the Jedi, and it's just you don't see it coming. And it's a great twist to the movie. Nobody expected it. I didn't, at least, unless you like looked into spoilers, and we don't. I loved it. The visuals were fantastic. The CGI was fantastic. Everything about that movie was just great. All right, guys. Number 4, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. This has been one of my favorite movies for so long. Ever since I was so little, I used to have a VCR tape of this movie, and I would always be so scared to watch the spider scene, the tunnel, and I still am. Can't do it. Fast forward right through. But just Aragorn and Frodo and Gandalf, Legolas, they're just some of the most iconic characters just to ever come out of a movie. I'd say if you like most people know at least of something about Lord of the Rings. Like maybe if it's the meme, like they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, or just Gandalf, and I think that universe is just so well known, but so well put together as well. Just like it fits, it flows perfectly, and especially at the end where the hobbits are bowing down to Aragorn, but he says, "You bow to no one," and everybody in the kingdom bows down to them. It's so gut wrenching. It feels like a punch right to the stomach. You just have to you have to cry it out. It's so like such a bittersweet end. You know what I mean? So that's why it's so high, so low, so high or low. Is it a high list or a low list? On my top 10. All right, guys. Number 3, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So this movie was the last Harry Potter movie that I saw in theaters. Just I watched number 1 and I watched number 8, all of them in the theaters, and just seeing the end to my favorite just hero ever, Harry. Just seeing the universe wrap up and seeing Voldemort finally fall was breathtaking, especially when he cast Vada Kedavra and Harry cast Expelliarmus, and their spells met in the middle during the final battle of Hogwarts, and watching Voldemort realize that he was done just was a perfect wrap up to the franchise and the series, and it made me start reading the books. I felt I needed to read them because I heard that they were so much better, and they totally are. Like a fellow YouTube channel, Super Carlin Brothers, they exposed me to like reading the books and watching both the movies, and it's just everything about the books and the movies together give your imagination just endless possibilities to figure it out, especially with Universal Studios as well. Going there and seeing just Gringotts and the dragons, everything just comes alive, and your childhood just explodes in your imagination. And I just think that if a movie can do that, it deserves a lot more praise. I know it's not the best movie in the series, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time. All right, guys. Number 2, all time, The Dark Knight. I just absolutely love Heath Ledger as the Joker. He is probably the best villain of all time in any movie. Just the way he portrayed his craziness, his elusiveness, his mentality, and just everything about the Joker was expressed and played so perfectly by Heath Ledger. And honestly, just the Joker makes the entire movie. That's why it's so good for me. Just the Dark Knight wouldn't be anything without the Joker in it, in my opinion. Just everything about it was fantastic with the use of Heath Ledger and his such phenomenal acting. I'm so glad that before Heath Ledger passed away, he was able to produce such a fantastic supporting role as the Joker and deliver one of the greatest acting performances of all time. Just absolutely one of the greatest of all time. Especially the scene where Batman is driving towards the Joker with his bike, and he's just sitting there just yelling, "Hit me, hit me!" It just makes me just get up in my seat and just it's one of those things. It's just one of those fantastic performances. Another time where he's in the jail and he starts clapping and everybody just doesn't know what is going on because it's the Joker, and that's why it's so high or low, high or low. Still don't know. All right, number 1, my favorite all-time movie just came out this May. Avengers: Infinity War. Just everything about that movie just broke new ground. It showed that Marvel wasn't afraid of anything. Just killing off half the cinematic universe with a snap. Even the most popular heroes like Black Panther and Spider-Man. It was crazy to watch. Just I never expected any characters. I thought it was gonna be like a classic Marvel movie, but nope. They flipped it on its head. And especially Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Fantastic job. Just that was so sad watching him not want to go, not want to leave, and just it felt like Tony lost his kid, and I almost saw Iron Man die as well. My favorite character, two of my most favorite characters from the Marvel universe, almost just died on the spot, and that would have been such a wild movie. It would have been number 0 on my list rather than number 1 because it's just I don't think anything can top it unless part 2 comes out and even and trumps it down. Then man, just it's just the comic relief as well with the Guardians or Tony Stark calling Doctor Strange a wizard. Just it gives you a laugh when sometimes you're like so serious or so tense, and that's why I think it's such a fantastic movie. So that's my list.